This security camera footage captures the execution of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. On the morning of December 4, 2024, a masked gunman waited outside a Midtown Manhattan hotel and opened fire at close range. As the details of the assassination spread, the public response defied expectations. Instead of universal horror, a wave of users across social media started openly celebrating the crime. Online communities locked on to the specific details the shooter left behind, specifically the words "deny, defend, depose," etched onto the shell casings. In forums tracking the case, commenters branded the killer a modern American hero and a vigilante striking back at a corrupt medical system. While much of the public views this as a calculated strike against corporate greed, the legal system views that same calculation as evidence of first-degree murder. In a courtroom, a premeditated act is an admission of guilt. The case has now moved from the public forum to the New York criminal justice system. Here, Luigi Mangione's lawyers have indicated they will pursue an affirmative psychiatric defense. This extreme emotional disturbance defense differs from an insanity plea. Mangione's lawyers acknowledge he knew right from wrong, but claim he acted under a profound loss of self-control. They argue chronic physical agony and a fixation on the insurance industry slowly shattered his mental stability. This strategy is a gamble. To convince a jury he lost control, Mangione's team has to explain away a timeline of forensic evidence that the prosecution says shows total, cold-blooded premeditation. The prosecution's goal is to prove that Mangione was in absolute, calculated control of his actions. They intend to show that the shooting was the result of a rational, multi-week plan. The DOJ's timeline begins 6 weeks before the shooting. Investigators recovered a notebook with entries dating back to August and October. One entry explicitly states, "The target is insurance. It checks every box." 10 days before the shooting, Mangione boarded a bus in Atlanta, Georgia, and traveled to New York City. The prosecution characterizes this as the beginning of an active stalking phase. He immediately employed operational security, checking into an Upper West Side hostel using a fake New Jersey ID under the name Mark Rosario. This 6-week record of journaling, interstate travel, and false identities establishes a pattern. For the state, these records document a patient, methodical predator. The morning of the shooting, Mangione waited outside the Midtown Hotel for an hour. He was armed with this 9mm pistol, which was equipped with a custom-built silencer. Immediately after the shooting, he executed a multimodal escape. He fled the scene on foot, mounted an electric bicycle on West 55th Street, and rode directly into Central Park. In the park, he performed specific counter-surveillance maneuvers. He dumped his gray backpack, changed his clothes, and emerged on the Upper West Side to hail a taxi to a bus terminal. This typed letter, addressed to the feds, was found on him during his arrest. In it, he writes, "This was fairly trivial, some elementary social engineering, basic pad, a lot of patience. A man who uses computer-aided design software to build a silencer and manages multiple burner identities does not fit the legal definition of being out of control. To the prosecution, these are the hallmarks of a rational actor." The timeline of the crime centers on one piece of evidence, the spent 9mm shell casings etched with the words "deny, defend, and depose." In the court of public opinion, those bullets are a symbolic message. They are the reason an online subculture rallied behind him as an anti-hero. In a courtroom, those same casings serve a different purpose. They are physical proof of premeditation. Writing a manifesto onto ammunition requires a hyper-focused mind. Mangione's defense team must now present weeks of patient, self-funded planning and somehow convince 12 jurors that it was the work of a broken, irrational mind. By arguing extreme emotional disturbance, Mangione is already admitting that he pulled the trigger. If the jury rejects the argument, the defense has effectively provided the state with a confession to first-degree murder. Luigi Mangione's fate rests on a legal contradiction. The meticulous symbolism that fueled his online popularity provides the state with the evidence required to secure a life sentence.